Okay, so we live in a crazy time, huh? Strange things are happening, especially here in New York. The world is coming to some kind of a conclusion. And one of the ways in which the world gets healthy and perfected is that the confusion between good and bad, that there's a little bit of good in the bad, and there's a little bit of bad in every good, that condition has to be cleared up. It's too confusing. The evil can hide behind good, and the evil can conceal the good. And that's what's causing all of our problems. For example, I think it's true that every human being, almost without exception, has good intentions. They want to do something good. They want to be better than they are. Now, some people are very confused about what is good. Like people who make revolutions. They want to make things better. They think that they're making things better. Sometimes they're not. They're making things worse. But they thought they would make things better. So I believe that most people have good intentions, and in their mind, they're better than they are in their actions. Which means our potential is good. It just doesn't happen. The average person wakes up in the morning with a plan to do good. The day goes by and it didn't happen. Why is that? He knows what's good. He wants to be good. He even plans to be good. He promises himself to be good. And it doesn't happen. It's strange. And it's not good enough to blame the person and say, well, if you really wanted it and you really tried, then you would be better. Of course, that's true. But why do I have to really try hard? Why? It's good. I want to be good. I'd like to be good. I plan to be good. I even promised myself to be good. That's not enough. Now I have to try really hard. Why is that? Why is that? That means that there's something wrong with the world. There's some block, there's some resistance. And that's called golus. That's called being in exile. The children of Israel belong in the land of Israel. That's how it should be. That's what should be. That is right. That is good. And that's what we want. For 2,000 years, we couldn't have it. And now that we're there, now that we have Israel, the world is telling us that we have no right to be there. See, that's called a messed up world, where what should be is not the same as what is. When the world becomes perfected, what should be will be. Why not? What a person wants to be, the good that the person wants to do, they'll do. that would be a healthy world. You shouldn't have to try hard to be good. That doesn't make sense. You should have to try hard to be bad. That makes sense. Because bad is unnatural. Good is natural. Why do you have to try hard to be natural? So that's what we mean by a messed up world. And that's what we mean by a world becoming healthy. If you watch the news, if you listen to the news, you're going to see something unusual is happening. The good is becoming pure. Good is good, nothing bad in it. And the bad is becoming pure bad. People aren't even trying to hide. They're not ashamed of being bad. They're not apologizing. They just do what they want. When the evil stops hiding, when it doesn't hide behind good, then it is committing suicide. Because evil without a little good cannot exist. Can't exist. So what we're seeing is that this mixture, a little good in every bad and a little bad in every good, that's not going to be anymore. The bad is just plain bad, and that means it's finished. Can't go on anymore. And the good is going to be really good. So just look. You can see it with your eyes. Every day, the good is becoming better, and the evil is killing itself by being exposed. So the result will be that all the goodness that we're planning, that we think about, that we hope for, will become real. The resistance will go away. And that's what we mean by Mashiach. Mashiach is not a miracle. In the times of Mashiach, every good intention will become a good act, a good deed, because nothing will interfere. So all the potential goodness will become the reality. So if you can imagine, tomorrow morning everybody wakes up and they are as good as they always wanted to be. That's not a miracle. That's a healthy world. The Golus is a miracle. That the way things should be, the way things ought to be, the way things we want don't happen, that's crazy. That's crazy. Now, every other goodness that everyone agrees on, it's not even a debate, it's not a question. Now it's going to happen in reality. Like every Jew wants to be a good Jew. At least once a year. You think about it, every Jew wants to be a good Jew. Because if a Jew is not a good Jew, then it's not good. If a man is not a good man, if a woman is not a good woman, it's not good. Everybody wants to be good. But in the past, it just didn't happen. Or it happened rarely. Now, because we're so close to Mashiach, it's starting to happen. It's easier today to be what you want to be than a year ago. And it's everywhere. It's all over the world. The sad part is that Now that it is so easy to be what you want to be, people get more confused. So what do I want to be? Do I want to be male or female? What do we really want to be? Person said, well, I want to be a doctor. I want to be an astronaut. We're not talking about that. Some people can be a doctor, some people can't. Some people can be astronauts, some people can't. It's not an obligation that you have to become an astronaut or a doctor. Unless your mother's Jewish, then you have to be a doctor. What we have to be what God needs from us to be. In other words, we have to fulfill the purpose for which we were created. And here's the exciting thing. We always believed, always, all of history, human beings accomplished great things. We created civilization, we created cities, we created communities, we made discoveries, we invented things. Amazing, amazing. What motivated us? Need. Why did we invent a plow? Because we need to eat, we need bread. Why did we invent pipes and water mills? Because we needed water. The need drove us. And we got used to the idea. A human being is very dependent. A human being is very needy. Life is very fragile. If you don't have what you need, you're not going to survive. Even Darwin's theory of survival of the fittest. What drives us, what molds us, is the need to survive. And now, all of a sudden, we don't like the whole idea. All over the world, people are saying, this is not a good plan. It doesn't make sense. I don't like it. I'm born into the world. I didn't ask. Nobody asked me. I don't need this. I don't need this. But I'm born into the world, and now all of a sudden, I have so many needs. It's not just I need to eat. In order to eat, I have to have food. In order to have food, I need to have money. In order to have money, I need to have a job. In order to have a job, I need to have an education. In order to have an education, I have to get up early in the morning. I don't like it. I don't like this plan. I don't like this have to get up in the morning to go to kindergarten, to first grade, and then to second grade, and then to college, and then to... Why? To make money, to be able to buy what I need. What I need? Yeah, to survive. You don't want to die. So in the olden days, it was much simpler. The farmer had to get up in the morning, because if he doesn't get the planting done in the right season, next winter he's going to die. He's going to die. He won't have what to eat. It was real. If you don't plant in the spring, then in the winter you're going to die. Today, it's not so real. What do you tell a kindergarten kid? Wake up, wake up. You got to put your shoes on and catch the bus to go to school. I'm 6 years old. Why do I have to go to school? Because you have to get an education. You have to get a good education. You have to get into a good college. You have to get into a good college in order to get a good job. You have to get a good job in order to get a good paycheck. And you need the paycheck in order to buy the food. And you have to buy the food in order to have what to eat, because if you don't have what to eat, you're going to die. To the 6-year-old, you're not making any sense. I have to get up now when I'm 6 years old, because if not, I'm going to die. I'm going to die. I'm going to die. And even if I do, so what? I'm not going to get up early in the morning every day, year after year after year, just because I could die. You see, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense to live your life in order not to die. It doesn't make sense. We also don't like being threatened anymore. We don't like it. Like being religious. You have to be religious, otherwise you're going to suffer. You're going to suffer. In this life, you're going to suffer. After you die, you're going to suffer. We don't like that anymore. I'm not going to live my life because of a threat. It doesn't make sense. If life is difficult and I have to do all of these things because otherwise I'm going to die, so who says it's worth living? Leave me alone. Especially Darwin's theory is so depressing. Everything I do is because I don't want to die. Animals develop claws and teeth so that they won't die. Birds develop wings so that they don't die. Nobody ever answered the question of what's terrible with dying. So what? Now people are asking that question. So it's not working anymore. You can't threaten people. For a very simple reason, by the way. My grandfather told me that I have to keep kosher and that I have to keep Shabbat. I have to? Why do I have to? Why do I have to? Because if you don't, so you threaten me. If you're threatening me, it means you don't have an answer to my question. Why do I have to keep Shabbat? Because if not, I'm going to suffer. Okay, so you don't have an answer. Threat is not an answer. I don't even doubt that you're saying is true. Yeah, I'm going to suffer. So I should live my entire life because I'm afraid to suffer? Doesn't make sense. We need better answers. And the truth is, Judaism has answers. The threat doesn't come from Judaism. It's Catholic. Behave yourself or you're going to suffer? That's a Jewish attitude? It's not Jewish. That is not Jewish. The Jewish attitude is, and this is really fantastic, the Jewish attitude is human beings don't have needs. Isn't that amazing? I don't have needs. What do I need? Well, if you don't eat, you're going to die. Okay. So what? Don't threaten me. I won't eat and I won't live. So what? Did you ever hear anyone complaining that they're not alive? Did you ever hear anybody complain, why wasn't I born? If you're not born, you're not born. You never complain. We don't need, because we don't need to be born. We don't need to live. We don't need to be here. We don't need. So the whole theory, Darwin's theory of the survival of the fittest, of the evolution, it's all a joke. It's a joke. We're all trying to survive as best as we can. No, I don't care if I survive. I don't need this. Surviving is not my biggest need. In fact, I don't need it at all. I don't need it at all. Even young children are now realizing this. I don't know if it ever happened before in history. 10-year-olds are saying, why do I have to go to school? I didn't even ask to be born. So leave me alone. And they're not depressed. They're not suicidal. They're asking a very good question. I didn't ask to be born. So why are you giving me responsibilities? I have to do this. I have to do that. I don't have to anything. Oh, you want to get sick and die? Okay, don't threaten me. That is not an answer. Because this is the truth. Human beings don't need anything. We are created. We don't need it. We don't beg to be created. We don't fight to be born. It's such a relief. Don't tell me I need to go to school, I need to get a job, I need to be healthy, I need to have friends. Don't do that to me. It makes people crazy. And then you go for therapy. And the therapist tells you, oh, you have much deeper needs. Thank you very much. And then religion comes along and says, you have so many needs. And when you die, your needs get heavier, more serious. Okay, I quit. Leave me alone. It's ridiculous. I don't need. The worst thing that can happen is I'm going to die. Okay, so where is it written that I have to live? So the sages told us a long time ago, and we didn't listen. The sages in the Talmud, 2,000 years ago, said, you are born against your will. You are conceived against your will. You live against your will. And then you die against your will. And that's good news. It's good news. Because it's saying, you don't need this. You don't need to be born. You don't need to die. So all the threats of history, you must get up, you must plow the field, you must milk the cow, you must. No, I don't have to do it. I don't have to. This is really a radical change in human thinking. We're entering a new phase. This is a new world we're living in. So what's the story? I don't need to live. I don't need to be born. I don't need to be here. So what's the story? It's all a mistake. Too big to be a mistake. So the conclusion for a rational, intelligent human being, the conclusion is, I'm not here because I need, because I didn't create myself. My parents didn't create themselves. We're not here out of need. We're here because we are needed. It's the only explanation. Otherwise, you're just talking nonsense. Scientists have to face this fact. You can't explain life like, well, we're just trying to survive. We don't need to survive. We are necessary. We are needed by something or someone much greater than us. That's why life is interesting. That's why life is precious. Not because I need it. That makes me depressed. Need is depressing. If you need to live, you're already depressed. We don't need anything. Liberate yourself. You don't need. The question is, what are you needed for? Because it's somebody else's need that produced you, not your need. And it wasn't your mother and father, because they don't need to be here either. So if you want to understand yourself and you want to understand life, you better figure out why you're here. Who needs you? Whose need runs the world? Not mine. Because I can quit anytime and it won't make any difference to me. So all of religion that is based on getting to heaven, it's all so wrong. I am here because I need to get to heaven. That is so ridiculous. It's such nonsense. I'm here because I need to be there. It doesn't make any sense at all. And I don't need to be there. Religion convinces you, you know, the only way to get to heaven, I don't want to go to heaven. Leave me alone. Religion has failed. Psychology has failed. Science has failed. Does anybody have an answer? There's only one answer, and that is the Torah. If we listen and don't make it into another religion like everybody else. Judaism is not about getting to heaven. It's not. And it's not about surviving. It's not. It's not about getting to heaven. It's about bringing God to earth. That's what every mitzvah is. Bring God down to earth. Every way you can. Now, who needs God to be down to earth? I don't need this. He needs to be brought down to earth. And the only way that can happen is if we do it. So this is his need, not mine. Gives me two very important things. First of all, it gives me the freedom from need. I'm not needy. I'm not weak. I'm not dependent. You can't threaten me. I don't need anything. Jews were the first ones to discover this. You know why? Because for 2,000 years, we didn't have anything. Everything was taken away from us. We didn't have our own country. We didn't have our own army. We didn't have peace. We didn't have what to eat. We didn't have shoes. We didn't have rights. We couldn't own anything. We lived without anything. So what kept us going? If we needed to survive, we wouldn't have survived. That makes sense? Viktor Frankl says, the people in the concentration camp who really, really wanted to survive didn't. They died. Those people who had a reason, they had to take care of their father. They had to find their brother. They had to eat a matzah on Pesach. They had to fast on Yom Kippur. Somebody needed something from them. Those people survived. If you're needed, you will survive. If you need to survive, you probably won't. Because it weakens you. When you become desperate not to die, it weakens you. And the reason is because it's not true. When you try to do something that isn't true, it's not going to work. You don't need to survive. The harder you try, the worse it's going to get. But does God need you? Yes. That's going to make you stronger, not weaker. Now, if God needs you, that's not a religion. That's creation. The world was created by a plan, and in this plan, God needs you. Religion means human beings trying to get to heaven or some spiritual benefits. In other words, human beings trying to fulfill their spiritual needs. Judaism has a very different message. You don't have needs. Where did you develop needs? Not physical needs and not spiritual needs. You don't have needs because you don't ask to be born. You don't need this. So spiritual needs are no better than physical needs because they're both not true. Really, I don't need to eat. Am I being serious about this? A human being doesn't need to eat? Yes, I'm being serious. A human being doesn't need to eat. In fact, a human being shouldn't need to eat. He's got better things to do. Animals eat. Even vegetables eat. Human beings shouldn't be busy eating. We should be doing something human. So it's not I need to eat. I don't want to eat, and I have no choice. So the only thing you can say is, well, if you don't eat, you're going to die. Okay, I'm not convinced. That is not an intelligent argument. I don't need to eat. It's going to kill me, so it'll kill me. I don't need it. I didn't create myself dependent on food. Who did this to me? Who did this to me? The story in the Talmud, a sage met a man on the side of the road who was very, very ugly. He was ugly. And the sage said to him, "Why are you so ugly?" And the man said, "Why are you complaining to me? Complain to my creator. I didn't make myself ugly." Why am I hungry? I don't know. I didn't make myself hungry. I was created like this. So what am I going to do? Why do I need to sleep? I don't know. It's ridiculous. But I didn't create myself. So what do you want from me? God created me with the need to eat. So who really needs it? He does. He needs me to eat. That makes a lot more sense than I need to eat because otherwise I'm going to die. I need to eat because it's the survival of the fittest. Survival is not necessary for me. I don't need to survive. God needs me to survive because he put me here. And he created the conditions for my survival. So he said, in order for you to survive, you have to eat. And I need you to survive, so eat. So I say to God, sure, if you need me to eat, I'll eat. What do you want me to eat, by the way? When do you want me to eat? How much do you want me to eat? Because this is not my plan. This is all your plan. So tell me. I should eat only kosher? Fine. The whole idea of eating is your idea, so I'll do it your way. You want me to get married? Have children? Okay. How do you want me to do it? In all things, once I'm not needy, I'll gladly do it his way, since it's his need, not mine. So people who walk around so depressed, so busy with themselves, I need this and I need that, and you can't talk to me like this. You have to talk to me like that. And don't ever criticize. Don't laugh at me. Don't ask me questions. Don't put pressure on me. I can't take it. I need pills. Something's wrong with your whole life. Something's wrong with your whole life because you think you need. Don't go there. This is the difference between wisdom and foolishness. The fool thinks he needs. A wise person knows, don't need anything. This is really different, right? This is so much smarter. Our needs destroy us. To build them up and make a big deal, I need to eat and I need to have that kind of food and I can't have this. And I'm so particular. Oh, come on, come on. This is not worth it. This is the choice in life. You can be needy, which will depress you, or you can be needed, which will elevate you. So when God says, I need you, wow. Hey, what a relief. Then I'm right. I don't need anything. Yes. And you need me. So I'm here for a very good reason. That is the best news I've ever heard. Not only do I not have needs, I am needed. My existence is necessary. That is very good news. Now I can celebrate life. So this is what we need to tell the world. The world has gotten so confused, especially the religious world, because somehow they decided that it's all about survival. It's all about having a good life. It's all about having a good death. It just never ends. I need. And God is here to give me what I need on the condition that I behave myself. Why? Why? If you're here to help me, then just help me. What's with the conditions? Well, if you believe in me, then I'll help you. If not, what is that? I can't believe that people actually lived like this for thousands of years. Makes no sense. I need God's help, but he'll only help me if I meet his conditions. That is so cruel. Especially since the conditions that he makes me follow, he doesn't even need. I'm the one who needs, and he makes conditions? No, he's the one who needs, and the conditions are just a description of his need.